That was such a dramatic button push.
It's take two.
And we know it. We know it from that very dramatic button push.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
It's my sister. Family business.
When it's the fate of the world, it becomes my business.
Well, I guess for the beginning of this, could you give me why we are watching it?
There was so much in that why. Why?
Why?
Are we watching this? More Virgo season. Another Virgo. Oh, Cole, what have you done with your life?
Take 2. Virgo season is what we all agreed on yesterday. I took notes. For God's sakes, it's on the group calendar.
But that's it. So it was Virgo season.
Yes.
Because it's Robby and Jaclynn's birthday weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so we picked favorite movies. And mine was inspired by the fact that I watched it literally on my birthday in 2019. And it was great. And in part, I think it was great. In part because it was just a great day. It was my birthday, my first sober birthday. I had a milkshake that I was obsessed with that I think about all the time.
Please read the milkshake recipe.
It's called the Samoa Cookie Shake. Kuki. Vanilla ice cream, dark chocolate and caramel, roasted macadamia nuts, coconut cream, and toasted coconut flakes. It does a lot of storytelling efficiently. Like, this is the movie I hope to make one day. Like, it sets up the story really quickly. It does some visual stuff. You know exactly what you're doing, what the tone is. So it does it really well, really quickly, and you're in.
I had a very specific experience watching it the first time, which was I thought Jaclynn was going to hate me. Because I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, this is like, I do not like this.
Yeah.
Like, I really do not like this.
It starts off not that great.
Yeah. But it sort of continues not that great. And there's
he slid that in.
No, but like, I recognize how skillful it is. I recognize how well it's made. I recognize that it has all these elements of things that I love. It's got witty banter. It's got funny cameos. I actually laughed a lot.
We should note that my experience watching this was...
Me quoting it before it happened.
Yeah, you were watching it.
Sorry, I was that person.
You were watching it as if I had also seen it 12 times.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. Nobody should watch a movie with me. I do. I was like, we're going home. And then like Hobbs is like, we're going home. And Cole's like, really? Really? Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's rude because I thought the exact opposite. Like, I thought, oh, I should be watching this with Jaclynn and Cole. Like, that's what I thought.
I agree. It would be a bummer to miss out on like this fun, absurd experience that I get to take like my serious friends through. And like, this is actually really well done, but also there's like a sense of humor, playfulness, and absurdity to it that I want everybody in on. So the only thing that would be, I wouldn't unfriend you guys if you hadn't liked it.
In trying to get myself hyped for
And that is what this requires. That's it. It's a hyped movie.
I realized David Leitch directed it.
Yep.
And I gasped.
This is now a David Leitch Fan Club podcast. And his wife, too. His wife is executive produces everything he does. And I have no doubt she's actually a giant part of why everything works.
I'm like, why
They're
are we...
so well. He's such a good director. I mean, you should actually probably Google him and like have this be more.
Fall Guy?
Yeah, Fall Guy.
Yeah,
I loved Fall Guy. A thing that will never stop making me upset is that Fall Guy wasn't a giant success.
Yeah.
The promo for it, like, oh my, it's just So he, David Leitch, was a stunt guy, and then he was a stunt coordinator. And he loves stunts. He loves stunt people. And so everything he does, especially Fall Guy, is like a love letter to stunts. And I think you see it so well in this action film of the precisions. And it's such a like high-low mixture of like believability and absolutely unbelievable. And it's like, I believe that Hobbs took his giant muscle arm out a window and like picked up somebody off a motorcycle. Like, I believe it. Even though like,
physically impossible.
There's no amount of strength that prevents broken joints, like whatever. But, and so it's very believable, and I just think he does genius stuff. So he did John Wick. He did Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
He's done all the John Wicks. I think he was on all of them, but I think he's like uncredited on some of them. I thought Cole had seen it. I did. You admitted you hadn't.
You tried. When you said 12 minutes in, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to like this again.
That's when Cole had always given up.
That was, yeah.
That's when you, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
But I think you're right about the beginning. Like it sets up everything it's going to be. And I knew exactly what I was getting into.
A thing that I feel strongly about, it is so visually perfect. The precision of the visuals for me is what really gets me.
They didn't speak for like 12 minutes. That's like a whole arc of the story.
That was the thing. The thing I want to do is I want to sit down and I want to go shot by shot. And I also want to sit down and count the amount of dialogue because there's not much dialogue.
If you take out the insults, it's even, because insults aren't really dialogue.
It is. It's mostly like punchy one-line jokes, some insults, and like a tiny bit of exposition. I think it's visually precise in a way that I find extremely impressive. What I actually want to do with this film is I want to sit down and talk about every shot. And this is as storytellers talking about story.
Well, each shot has a story.
It does. And if you watch the like editing and the visuals, so the opening scene comes and they're juxtaposed next to each other, right? It's like split screen and you start to see Hobbs and you start to see Shaw. What starts to happen is that they're very much the same.
Yeah.
And like they do that so visually throughout it so many times. And I loved that. So at the beginning, you already know that these are two dudes who think they're diametrically opposed to each other, who are pretty much the same. And so you already start like connecting it visually. And so they're both like eating eggs, but they're eating eggs differently. Like they're both in bed, but they're both like in the same sized bed.
Their garage doors open on the exact same plane of the frame.
They answer the phone, right? They both answer the phone. They hear that they're like on a mission and they both give it a beat and then say where. And they say it at the same time.
Where?
That's cool.
Right? They're not like asking details. They're not asking how. They're just like, where? I know it's now and I'm going to go. But what was really cool to me, and this is like cinematography nerd stuff, but like a lot of times characters will have a color story, right? So it's like, and maybe that color will shift over the film to like show what they're going through. But so for a big part of this like juxtaposition, Hobbs is rust colored and Shaw is blue, very, very clearly. And like, so each side of the screen, you have your color story and like rust colored on the left and blue on the right. And you're kind of following them around. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, each has their own color story. And then all of a sudden they get in their cars and the colors swap, but the characters stay the same. And to me, that was like such a like subconscious thing of like, they're the same. Right? Like it's like they're these two different people, but yeah, like the color switches and it switches on the side of the screen, but the colors stay the characters stay the same. And just the ways that they're like constantly trying to show you that these guys are actually like much more aligned than you would think. And I love that because like one of the things I don't like about films like that I didn't like about Freaky or Friday was like there's so much yelling and there's so much like disagreement. And so I like that visually they weave the two of them together in ways that like make your brain, like calm your brain and weave them together in a way that's not so discordant. I just think that's really cool. Like the visuals to me are like more than the story. So I've put you to a hard task, right? Like we're storytellers talking story and mostly I'm just obsessed with what they do visually. But anyway, that color thing was really another thing that I like rewound and kept watching, being like, when does that switch and why does it switch and do the character switch? But
at first, when the switch happened with the cars, I was like so angry because I was like, that's a mistake.
Same.
This guy's this. This guy's that.
Yes.
Why did this switch?
Yes. I noticed it. I noticed it in the theater. It's very jarring, but it's also like, oh, that's like it's a choice because they're interchangeable to an extent.
I like that as an element of story because it absolutely is.
Like it is.
I mean, I totally missed it, and I will.
Of the channel that's being, the medium that's being used, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each of his stunts has a story too.
Yes. And an arc.
There was a scene where Vanessa Kirby and The Rock are fighting at the beginning because he's cornered her, where he basically picks her up and lifts her up in the air.
With one hand.
Yeah, with one hand. And it's just like this faraway shot. And then you get his face saying something, and then you get her looking down, and it's like she's capitulated. And I really, there was something very like both grounded and just sort of amazing about it. He is so big and so powerful.
And she's so tiny.
Yeah, and this is where these two people end up in this particular situation. I liked it.
And it kind of needed to be shown because it's like, as much as we can pretend that like she's a badass and like and like all these impossible things are happening, you do kind of need to be like, but she's also like he literally could pick her up with one hand and just hold her at bay.
They gave her a great amount of power, like 2 scenes later, even 2 lines later, where The Rock is interrogating her, And he mentions you learn a lot about a person by fighting them. I don't think you murdered this person because you were not fighting to kill me. You were fighting to get away.
To get away, yeah.
I agree. Like, it's like she got kind of bested in an easy way, but she never loses her like power or autonomy. Like, I didn't feel she was unsafe, and I wasn't like, ugh. Yeah. Once again, like, the lady's too tiny and weak. Yeah. And you're right. That was like, you weren't fighting to kill. So I'm not dead.
Those are the types of things that I wanted more of. Like, there wasn't a lot of chemistry between the two of them, but those kind of things are the things that build chemistry.
Yes.
You're like, oh my God, this guy sees me.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's not romantic, it's just like, okay, this guy doesn't think that I did this thing.
That to me was a big chemistry moment. It was like very seen and like very understood.
And when he comes back later with the quote and she says, "Is that Nietzsche?" and he says, "No, it was Bruce Lee." I was like, that's great. Like, that's, it's like, it's so clever and so fun, and
it was the callback, right?
Yeah, it was the callback.
He was like, it's Nietzsche, and then and then he was like, no, it's Bruce Lee. It's so good. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I loved that.
Yeah. As an element of relationship building, it was just very effective for me.
It was so good at effortlessly getting us to the next thing that there was a cut from The Rock crewing up or suiting up and getting ready for the fight that when they cut to a close-up of Idris Elba, in my mind, I was like, the next shot is going to be this whole army of the bad guys in Samoa, and we're going to skip all of the traveling in between. We're just going to go now.
Efficient.
Yeah.
They didn't do that, but it was almost just as quick. It was great.
But yeah, they're fast. Yeah. I think it's really efficient.
This is certainly very smart escapism. It just pushes you along and on its own merits, on its own rhythms, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
It was amazing how quickly the story set me up to accept the unbelievable, like the physically impossible.
Yeah. And
I was just like accepting. And I was ready to accept the entire film. But now in retrospect and near the end of it, Jaclynn had one
I lose it at the end. So we're watching it, and this bothered me in the theater, and it's bothered me every time. And this was the first time I finally like paused it and like went back and then went shot for shot. In the last scene, so we're in Samoa, and the fight is going on. Hattie, Vanessa Kirby, now has a timer, a literal timer strapped to her back of 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes.
30.
It is counted. Yeah, it's perfectly 30, which I also find a little ridiculous, but that's fine. 30 exact minutes strapped to her back. Idris Elba bad guys all show up. Pitch dark, middle of the night, absolutely black, dark night. We see fire going up. They like Jason Statham gets in his big fancy truck and like drives a ring of fire around, very Johnny Cash-ish. And then it's suddenly day.
Yeah.
And Cole's like, well, maybe the sun has come up. And I was like, no, it's been, and then we get a shot of this like countdown clock and it's been 9 minutes. And even if you're like, okay, maybe the sun has come up, like maybe we were at dawn and maybe I'm seeing like something peek over the horizon. Even if you do that, still, it's like 10 a.m. Like it's so bright. It's like 10 a.m. And it drove me crazy. And as Cole said, he's like, this? Like, you sat here now for 2 hours and 20 minutes and this is the thing? I was like, yes.
That brought you out of it.
We've all agreed this is taking place on planet Earth.
Yeah.
The rules of Earth are the same. Everything else I've said, okay, fine. This is a special thing. But yeah, it really bugged me. And so we went back, and I will say again to the editing and the efficiency of the editing, because Cole was fine with it. He was like, no, I'm in. And so I'm like, okay, what happened that we were okay with it? So it goes pitch dark. They go, we need a chopper. I don't know why I always have to say it like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but we need a chopper. It cuts to a chopper in front of the sun, like a rising sun. And then you come back and they're in the light. And so Cole's like, oh, I saw sun. And my brain said the sun is now up and I'm in. And I thought that was really interesting. So they do I think the editing is also fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think that was a good example of sort of like, I'm so curious. Like, I want to ask him, like, I assume they ran out of days to film, so they couldn't keep filming at night. Or it was a choice where they were like, the fire stuff will look so good in pitch dark, but the actual climax fight scene needs light to see it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have the same thing with like the truck stacking up in the middle of the night. Like, you need the contrast, you need the light. So I want to know, like, was it just a big F up and they like were like, well, we got to do what we got to do?
Right.
Or just like when we were talking about it, I was like, they're facing all the fiscal constraints, all the time constraints, and this is the point where they break. And you were like, they said, nope, not worth it. It's daytime.
We're not making Andre's kitchen meal or kitchen. We're not making Andre's kitchen or meal.
My dinner with Andre.
Well, they're not making Andre's kitchen either. They're not making my dinner with Andre. They're not making
also,
my life as a dog.
With Heat and Weight. Have either of you seen My Dinner with Andre?
Yes.
Should not Dave Pasquale be Andre in a remake?
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
I think about that every day.
I feel like I'm back in film school and
I'm sorry.
not cool because I'm talking about Hobbs and Shaw and you guys know.
No. So I was on my phone and it might have felt like I was ignoring you, but I was looking something up. Did you ever see the? I'm going back to Hobbs and Shaw.
The best of us.
I'm going. Did you ever see the Blues Brothers?
Yes.
At the end of the movie, or near the end of the movie, right before the big car chase with all the cops and everything, they have just performed at like 8:00 at night, right?
Yes.
And then they go under and they get in their car, and there's that famous line, it's 106 miles to Chicago, we have a pack of cigarettes, and then they start, and then the car chase begins, and then there's a lot of car chases, and then there's like a fade out, and then it fades up again, and it's morning.
Yeah.
And they're driving through Chicago, and I don't know where they were, but it was like 10 o'clock, and then it was sunrise. And to drive 106 miles is like, I don't know, it's like maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. And so, like, I remember clocking that, of going like, wait a minute. It was like, it's 2 hours later, but it's like 8, 9 in the morning. But there's something about the thinking or the atmosphere of thinking that they've been driving all night and they've been being chased all night, that you're like,
that to me is funny.
Okay, yeah. Like, sure. Like, that's what this should feel like.
That's what it should feel like.
You know, and I don't know if that's the case with this, because I didn't even catch it.
It bugged me in the theater. Cole was like, I can't believe you think that I've seen this as many times as you have. And you didn't think about it. But so I do wonder a little bit if they did pickups on the timer on her back, if they realized like they added that in later, because it does sort of have a feeling of they fought all through the night and this is like a really long battle. Because the fire goes down, like we do start to see the fire go down and it's much lower and And so it has this feeling of like all night long this has been happening and now we're like in the dawn of day. But the thing that totally messes that up is like, it's been 9 minutes according to the timer on my back. So I wonder if like also perhaps the plan was that it was like this whole long thing, but they felt like the stakes weren't high enough or there wasn't enough urgency. So then they're like, we should probably add a timer in on Vanessa Kirby's back.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd love to ask.
I have a personal history with timers that is fraught.
Sure.
A frequent collaborator and award-winning mystery writer, somebody you've worked with also, we started doing documentaries with, and in Mystery World, a ticking time bomb is like the #1 suspense device.
Sure.
And working with like people tangential to mystery writer, their only note for every like doc scene that we did was, should we put a timer on screen? Is the timer big enough? How do we feel about the timer?
You're like, what about everything else that's happening in the scene? No, the time.
What about when, like, essentially the prince of says, I'm going to murder you? Like, but how long does it take?
That's the no case.
So I hate timers. But so, this one I was like fine with.
Maybe the studio noted that. Was like, you know what, this needs a timer. And it doesn't work. I mean, it does. Like we have been told through this whole, if we're going to get into plot and story for this film, we have been told the whole time that it's going to take her 30 minutes to get her out. And like, she needs a special machine and it needs, so I mean, you do kind of need to see it, but it makes a continuity error. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The timer is destroyed in a big truck accident, and now it's on her back, and she has been in a helicopter that then just plummeted to the ground, and then I was like, oh my God, what if the box is broken? And then she gets up, she's like, she's been thrown out of the helicopter, and all of a sudden
it's all fine,
and she's on her back, and she gets up and the thing is fine, and I was like, oh, come on.
iPhones should be made of this kind of material. Yeah,
and they made a big deal about how delicate the making of it was.
Yeah.
But it survives the helicopter
she
crash.
literally lands on her back.
Yeah, it was like...
It really falls apart towards the end. It does. I'm sorry. I start to question a lot of things at the very end.
That's another thing. I don't have issue with this because I have been under similar pressure to not do something realistic because we're shooting a Broadway commercial. We need to see Jess face, put her face on it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's real.
Yeah, whereas like the real scene is like she covers her face with her hands to weep.
To weep.
No, we gotta.
Yeah, she's got to be smiling, pretty, glamorous, dewy faced.
That's great.
Every time that there is a very story-driven, reality-driven reason that they need to have a mask on, it is on 1 second. There's some reason we take it off.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we are too good looking for these to stay on.
I'm getting on a motorcycle. I better take this off.
Yeah, literally, they do. They put them on, but they're gone. Yeah, those are way too too many hottie patatis to be put in helmets.
Exactly.
The other thing that really takes me out, like big time, is all of a sudden Jason Statham, all of a sudden Shaw, starts talking very sideways. And it happens all of a sudden. Yeah. And you just
noticed his mouth?
Did you notice it too?
Yeah, when he was driving.
Yes!
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I read about it online, and I guess it's a thing that your mouth does if you have a Cockney accent, which he does. And he plays it up really big in his movies. So it's sort of his like action figure voice.
You noticed it.
You did notice it. You knew exactly what we're talking about.
But like, yeah.
It didn't make you as crazy.
Yeah.
But I think they do a lot of action movie voice. And so I think that was him doing action movie voice.
I liked when Kevin Hart made kind of fun of it when he started talking like that. And they were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I like that.
I did.
That was the most I've ever liked Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really like him.
I don't like heavily dislike him, but I'm just like, I know that he is not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I've had his fans tell me so specifically the ways in which he is not my cup of tea and just dunk on me for it. At the end of the longest shoot of the year, I called you from the Staten Island ferry to say, they sent me on a shoot and we don't have any like location permit paper signed and it's for like a brand. They're not going to be able to use any of this footage. This entire shoot has been a waste of a day. And the PA, Chanel, the most earnest person in the world, just a great human. She was like, well, we can still just enjoy this ferry ride. And I laughed really hard. Like it was that was hilarious. Chanel, I didn't know you were just amazingly funny. And she's like, that wasn't a joke.
That wasn't a joke. It's true. That's the definition of earnest. That's great.
And so we got into a really long discussion of like, so what's funny to you? What's funny to me?
She loves Kevin Hart.
Loves Kevin Hart. The Jungle, Jumanji?
Mm-hmm.
That was the funniest movie. That was her favorite funny movie. Yeah, and she had me describe like what I thought was funny. I was like, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I guess you could call it like dark humor. And she's like, I don't think you like dark humor. She was like, deadpan. I was like, yeah, deadpan. And she said, oh, so you don't like funny stuff.
That could describe you pretty well. We'll get to this with favorite lines, but I like that this plays with genre and it makes fun of itself within itself and it calls to other things and it doesn't feel tired in the way that like a lot of meta stuff can. So I think he does a really nice job of sort of being a character that makes fun of itself. Like it's making fun of the movie during the movie in a way that's like helpful, I think. Robby, did you not like it? You're just afraid to tell me that you didn't like it?
No. I didn't.
It's okay.
It's one of those movies, if I saw it on TV, I would sit and watch it for a little while. The big problem I had with it, and problem might not be a word, it just wasn't my cup of tea in terms of like that heat and weight situation, the weight and heat situation. Like the relationships really need to be strong for me to really be engaged in this. And for me, like all the elements of those things were there without them actually having any heat and weight for me.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. They're sort of stated and said, but they don't necessarily have heat and weight.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
For each of us, what is heat and weight, or how can we describe that?
If I were to just sum it up ineloquently, heat is chemistry.
So it's like the level of intensity of the relationship.
Yeah. And weight is like how grounded and earned is something.
The weight is more about like the level of intensity of the scene or the level of
caring, the level of concern, the level of whatever it is you're playing in the moment.
They complement each other.
This is a movie about family. And this is a movie about family standing up for each other. And this is also about family members who have betrayed one another in in some context. And I found myself not caring. And because things had not been set up in a way that like lent depth to people's feelings about one another.
Where there was, we care about family. This is about family, but it's not, it's told, it's not shown.
If something is going to tell me that it's about something, then I want it to be about the thing that it's telling me that it's about. And if it doesn't, then, but the thing that you said about it being part of a larger universe, and that might be somewhere.
I will say it is a spinoff of like a 9-series arc that even I haven't seen. So it is funny that I have such love of it. But I think
that would have helped a lot.
Much like a Marvel movie.
Yes.
I think a lot of it comes from like you have this history over 9 movies or whatever it was when this one came out.
Yeah.
I think they shortcut some of that weight. So I think it's you can watch it standalone, as we all did, and like understand it, and they give you enough. I don't know that the Fast and the Furious movies are known for their like depth of emotion. So I don't know that it ever gets like heated and grounded, as we would say. Like,
you need to know what's happening. You need to have the history, and like it makes it it makes it a lot more enjoyable, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable with like a huge group of people.
That's exactly.
So it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was just that I think there were parts of the movie I couldn't access.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That was the most diplomatic way that you could describe the situation.
It's not
just parts of the movie I couldn't access.
Yeah,
that's when you break up line.
I mean, I think I said this before we started. Like, it's not the movie's fault I didn't like it. It's just like a bunch of people made the movies. A bunch of very skillful people made the movie, and they made this thing. And it's like, well, okay, it didn't. I mean, I'm going to do some things that people don't like. I've had people walk out of things that I've been doing, and
that's such a brag.
And what?
Having people walk out of stuff you've made. That's
no, it doesn't feel like it.
The opposite of love is indifference.
Right.
You a big react. I would. No press is bad press, Robby. People walk out of your stuff. That's
but
be proud.
But I didn't like. I don't blame them for doing it. It's just the thing that I'm talking about doesn't appeal to them, or the thing that like I've written doesn't appeal to them, and that's that's okay.
Everything's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's great that people take this stuff seriously, but it's also like there's a Kurt Vonnegut quote about. You don't have to get upset about it. It's just like it appeals to you or it doesn't. As for literary criticism in general, I have long felt that any reviewer who expresses rage and loathing for a novel or a play or a poem is preposterous. He or she is like a person who has put on full armor and attacked a hot fudge sundae or a banana split.
That's great. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a good visual. Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
Who his favorite movie is?
My Life as a Dog.
Full circle, baby.
So and yeah, like actually the fact that it's your favorite movie makes me like it even more.
We have got to get out of here.
I acknowledge that there's a lot going on.
It seems like a good time to do favorite lines.
I don't love being outsmarted by tall, flightless birds either. But we got dressed up. I mean, we're in pleated periwinkle safari shorts.
Cool, yeah. How about if we just go ahead and do favorite lines?
All right. Naked Ostrich, you finished? Jaclynn Cole. I think it would behoove us to move on to favorite lines immediately.
Who pissed off the bird and why was it Cole? Bye, Naked Ostrich. No, you look great.
I'm going to say them now. I'm saying them right now.
That's good. That's good, Cole.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go
Because
ahead.
I have scenes I love. I have a couple of things that I really loved visually.
Yeah, I found the line. It's, we got bigger problems than your fragile ego. And just a moment ago, I most definitely shit my pants.
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 It's like a Cookie Monster. That's great.
That's what I was going for. I was going for Cookie Monster.
I loved it.
Angry Cookie Monster.
I saw fur all over your face.
I mean, it's a small step between an action star and Cookie Monster.
I do think Roy Kent later seasons of Ted Lasso gets a little Cookie Monster adjacent. He gets a little comic, and Cockney accent, side mouth Jason Statham too. It starts getting to Muppet. It does. It starts getting to Muppet.
Yeah, and Jason Statham had a line in it. This is like dragging my balls against shattered glass. It was on the plane. He was saying every time he heard The Rock's voice or something like that.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was a good insult.
Yeah, I like that. I love when the Rock sits on the plane and says, "I love you, Babushka." after he said how friendly he is and how nice he is, then the woman just smiles. I'm like, love it.
If an eyebrow raise can be a line, when the daughter raises her eyebrow and he raises his eyebrow back at her, tears.
That was great.
That's a great. If an eyebrow raise could be a line, that's good. That's a good quote. Yeah. One scene that I just loved is when The Rock is on the phone with his daughter. And they're like FaceTiming, and she's like, I think you kind of think Spy Lady's cute. And he's like, stop it. I don't know what you're talking about. And then like Vanessa Kirby is like kicking the other team's ass right behind him in an all glass room. Yeah, she's like taking him out with a chair, and he's like, I don't think you know what you're talking. I don't have a crush on her. I maybe don't need to tell the story. Cool. But I also I really like that because it felt really true. And I had a guy friend from college who I'd been in love with since college, and he had a daughter, and the daughter was like 14.
Oh, this is cell phone Chris.
Voice Stream Wireless Chris. Yeah. Whatever. Shout out Chris.
Shout out Chris.
He was dating somebody, but him and I like got back in touch, and we were like texting all the time. And girlfriend got mad. Like she was like mad about it. And Chris was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know what's up. And daughter goes, there's just a smile you get when you get a text from Jaclynn. She's like, I'll be sitting across the room and I'll know. Like the phone will beep, and based on your face, I will know it's Jaclynn. And like way before he knew he liked me, right? Like she was kind of like, nice try, you guys. And she's like, that's why this woman's so pissed at you.
Oh, come on, Kathleen. I wouldn't be caught dead. CAVORTING with someone who spells their name JACLYNN. And I don't think she would even consider it.
And like, so when like the daughter's doing that to the dad, and he's sort of like, whatever, I don't like Spy Lady. I was like, that felt so real to me, like that she could see it and like knew and was teasing him about it. I really appreciated that moment.